Hello, everyone. Jack here again with another episode of the Generalist podcast. I'm your host, Jack
Mm.
Gutman, or Jack the Generalist, and today I have Steven. Introduce yourself.
Hello, hello. Well, name's Steven, as you can see. I'm senior VFX artist for about two years, about 2 years now officially, and I've been working in the industry since pretty much since what 2018. I think it was 8th of January 2018. I remember it very clearly because I remember like the offer letter for the tech artist intern. It was the 8th. So yeah, I've been around the industry for quite a while already, and I'm not from. Well, I'm currently in Montreal. I've been there ever since 2016, and I've been dabbing in the VFX field since then, pretty much. And I originally come from French Polynesia. It's way back in the South Pacific. If you know Tahiti, Bora Bora, that's the two island names that most people are familiar with. You know, like in the Triple X movie, the first one, you see the end is Bora Bora.
Okay.
Well, that's where I come from.
I need to Google that on the side. Yeah, I think I've never heard about it, but I also didn't know that it's a French. Is it like territory or how does that
It's
work?
French Polynesia. Yeah,
Polynesia. Okay. Yeah, I also come
it
like.
says French Polynesia because it's the French part of Polynesia that was conquered, colonized by the French. Other parts were colonized more by the Anglophones, or like Hawaii, New Zealand, and the Cook
Okay,
Islands.
okay. I think it's extremely beautiful there, right? Bora Bora.
It is.
Yeah.
Like I think you interviewed like my friend Coraline Chari a
Yeah.
while back.
Yeah.
She's from Bora Bora.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. We're both from the same country.
Yeah, it's extremely beautiful. Like I think I've talked about going there, and then I looked it up. It was like super expensive or something.
Well, to be honest, it's less expensive now because
Aha.
like new flight companies manage like to get a hold of some how do you call that, part de marché? I don't know what you call it. S- Slices of the cake, of the international and internal flight, because you have two type of flight. You have the international, and then you have like the domestic flight. Yes, that's how it's called,
Ah.
domestic flight, because there's so many islands, then we can travel them all with boats. So
Yeah.
it's doable. Like in some islands, we do that. It's called taxi boats, or you use the ferry, for example.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it's a domestic travel on flight.
Okay. And so it's common to have like private jets, not jets, but like private planes.
Not private jets, but like small
Airplanes. Yeah.
airplanes,
Yeah.
like about 50 people or something, or
Yeah.
less.
Okay.
I don't exactly remember the amount of people you
So
can
it's
get there.
common to learn how to fly in a way. More common than like in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially like when you're kids, because if you're from the islands, you have a tendency, like at some point, like when you finish the primary school,
Yeah.
you have to go to the secondary school.
Yeah.
And well, usually it's either going through a boat or a plane,
Mm.
toward the nearest island that has the installation to handle like secondary
Gotcha.
schools.
Wow. What a different life, right? Like, where do you live now? I mean, not like the specific location.
Montreal.
Montreal. How is it?
Montreal.
How would you say it's different to Montreal? Like,
This
just
is the total opposite.
it's cold, right? It's not hot.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Like it can be very cold, but it can be extremely hot as well.
Yeah.
It's very different, like because you have all the temperature, I'd say, compared to tropical islands, where
Oh yeah.
you just different. You have a set of different rules, weather wise, let's say.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily want to deal with the tropical bad side, let's say. Like mosquitoes, insects in general.
Yeah.
the humidity and the typhoons.
Oh yeah.
So it can be pretty beautiful, but the
Yeah.
grass is always greener on the other side. You
Absolutely.
just you just have to deal with different set of rules
Yeah.
depending on where you are, and
How,
then you just choose what fits for you.
how would you say like growing up there has shaped you, prepared you for like career or life generally in Montreal?
Well, to be flexible
Mm.
in every aspect of life, because well, my situation is a bit exceptional, I'd say,
Mm.
because my family usually, not usually, but originally come what do you call it, Vanuatu, New Hebrides. I think the former name was New Hebrides. Now it's called Vanuatu.
Mm.
There was a war at some point. I think it's called the Coconut War.
Coconut War.
If you Google it, like, you're gonna. It's like the Vietnam of South Pacific.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, and basically, if I remember well, don't quote me on that. There was a resource war, like when you have like superpower, like France or the English.
Yeah.
It's always the same tale. They're trying not to go to other countries to do their bullshit.
Yeah.
They try
Yeah.
to mine resources, and then
Enslave
they destroy the
people. Yeah.
environment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and they destroy the environment, and the people that just didn't like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is perfectly normal. And then
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah, and then
incubators, like, who's gonna like that? Imagine if something like that happened today. Like, this is just not gonna go, right?
it's just gonna it continues to happen. It's just another form of it. To be honest, the older I get, the
Yeah.
more I see, the more you look at history, the more you see patterns. You see the same thing, just worded
Labeled
differently.
differently. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I see that. I
it's the
see
same old shit.
the same old shit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to VFX. Like, what?
Mhm.
Why VFX? Let's say why VFX.
Because it's cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's as simple as that.
But it's a very
Like,
specific skill. Like, how did you land on that skill? There's always a
yeah,
journey.
yeah. It took a couple of months because to figure out what I actually wanted to do.
Mm.
Usually, when I don't know what I want to do, I just like try to draw like mentally. How do you call that? Like a kind of box of things I like.
Mm.
Because I don't know specifically what I like, and
Mm.
do I really want to make a job out of it?
Yeah.
So I just put things in there. Like I like this, I like that, I like that. Okay, what can I do with this? Okay, I like video games. What kind of jobs I'm aware of at that time I can do? At that time, it was tester, programmer, and maybe animator. That's pretty much all I was aware of.
Yeah.
For the jobs available.
Mm.
Then I went through the whole process, like like to come in Montreal, Canada, and Montreal specifically, because I did the work to pinpoint where would be the best place to invest my career and to develop my career.
Yeah.
And I had like the choice between France and Canada, specifically Montreal.
Mm.
France would have been easier, like on the paper side, because I'm French I have the French nationality,
Mm-hmm.
so paper wise, easy peasy.
Mm-hmm.
But the schools were expensive and a bit nebulous on what they were trying to offer, and then there weren't many studios, I'd say, besides Ubisoft maybe,
Mm.
that were known to offer jobs. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm gonna check Canada, and then I saw there was after like just researching like the game I love to play, like Splinter Cells,
Mm.
especially Chaos Theory, was
Mm.
made in Montreal. And then the more I digged into it, the more Montreal came out of it, of my research. So I'm like, okay, so there's a pattern here.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my research, and then I went there and then found a school that would allow me like to be. Well, I pretty much use it as a foothold, like to get my feet
Mm.
uh, in this part of the world. And yeah, I did the condensed training for a year, and usually that's the kind of training you do in 3 years, but it was condensed in one, less than one, 11 months, pretty much. and even a little bit less. So I chose the 3D modeling course, and the other course was about level design, game design, which I was not familiar with at all.
Mm.
And starting the second semester, I switched from 3D modeling to 3D to level design and game design because I noticed that there were less hours for one,
Uh-huh.
and there were a few courses in the 3D modeling I just didn't vibe with, like drawing on the canvas, like you have a model and then you have to draw. I'm like, I don't care about that.
Mm.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's not what I signed up for. So I
Yeah.
just get out of to the other side, and that's where I met my best friend now, pretty much brother now.
Awesome.
Yeah, and when I switched to the second semester, this is where we started like to have like the VFX course with my mentor, Stefan Nipton.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a VFX artist anymore. He switched to something totally different that fits more of his.
Was he like film VFX or like games VFX?
Yeah, he used to because he's like one of the OGs.
Oh,
Like he
jeez.
did he yeah because they weren't the real time VFX was is pretty recent
Yep.
from what I understand and from what I see.
Yeah.
And so before that, you have like film, movies,
Yep.
anime, so, and then he worked in those, and then eventually he landed on the real time VFX side,
Mm-hmm.
and right from the start, he showed us the demo reel from Chenggang, if I remember well, and it blew me away pretty
Mm.
much, and that's love at first sight.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be with you. I want you in my life. That's my relationship with your real time VFX.
Awesome. Awesome.
Mm.
We should leave a link for that actually, just for people to
Yeah.
see it later. But I'll ask you to sum up the links later.
Yeah.
What an interesting like. It's always like whenever I talk to real time VFX artists, it's always an exploration phase of like
Hmm.
what do I like and what don't I not like, right? Like what do it's always an exploration, and then we all kind of land on something that like real time VFX where it's a little bit of everything.
Hmm.
Is that something you were attracted
Yeah.
to when it came to real time?
What specifically like the
Like different like the different disciplinaries, right? Like you mentioned before we
yeah,
started recording, you said you're a specialized generalist, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's the fact there's so much like how do you call that, chapters, if I can put it like that.
Mm.
You're not like tied to one specific thing, like in 3D modeling, for
Yeah.
example. You props modeling and that's it. I
Yep.
guess you have character modeling, you have monster modeling and stuff, but it's not as wide as real-time VFX. I would say it's very broad. Like the spectrum is very large. You have the art side, and then you have the technical side,
Yeah.
and then there's a whole spectrum in between. And throughout my career, I noticed that a lot of people were finding either end of the spectrum, or very much in between, or they were both.
Yeah. And how do you balance that like throughout your career? Like obviously I've seen your work and it's especially on Dragon Age, it's just like incredible work. And I wanted to ask like how was it to balance to get to that level? What did it take? Did it take blood, the sweat and tears? Like what did you do?
Two, well, a lot of tears, I'd say. A lot of like scratching my head because I come from a very different background
Yeah.
uh, that has nothing to do with video games. I was a teacher, and then I did a lot of stuff that has no correlation in any way with the digital stuff
Yeah.
besides playing video games.
Yeah.
That's all. That's the only common thing there was.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, how to balance that? Well,
Or
at first
how
I
to
made a
gain
deal.
knowledge, I guess, is the like especially if you come from a background where you didn't have any technical background, because like I
Hmm.
have real-time fix artists that have studied game dev, for example, or know
Hmm.
programming as a background. I rarely find people like you that are on the same level like you are, and at the same time have not started in the technical part. So
Mhm.
this question has a lot of. I'm really like waiting for the answer because I am in the same
Well,
boat.
well, I'm doing just like you. I'm asking questions.
Yeah.
You have to be curious. You have to show that you want it.
Mm.
It's gonna be maybe sound a bit corny, but that's called like in French we call it l'agnac. In English, it's called like the drive.
Yeah.
When you really want something, you gotta work through it.
Yeah.
Uh, you gotta ask yourself the right questions. You ask questions not only to people, you ask questions to yourself.
Mm.
What do I actually want to do with my life?
Mm.
And once you figure out that, okay, I want to do this, and I got the answer to that question when I started, like when I saw that demo reel I just talked to you about, like the Changing VFX.
Yeah.
Once that question was answered, the only question left is how.
How? Yeah.
Uh, and then you ask those questions to in my case, it was my mentor, my very first mentor,
Mm.
Stephen Lipton.
Mm-hmm.
I asked him how do you do this, and it's and I repeated that question: how you do this, how you do this, how you do this, how you do this.
Mm.
And what fascinated me was the whole process of creating assets, usually that are outside of the game engine.
Mm.
Usually, like DCCs, like blenders, 3D modeling software, and now my favorite software at the moment, it's Illusion.
Yeah.
I call it the asset maker because
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
it's like Substance and a blender and other stuff blended all together in one package,
Cool.
which I love. But yeah, it's the fact that you make a lot of part outside. It's like when you're manufacturing a car or something.
Yeah.
It's never all everything made in one place. It's a lot of part that are made elsewhere, and then they are assembled. In our case, they are assembled in the game engine to
Yep.
make something cool.
Yeah. 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 That makes a
Mm.
lot of sense. Actually, it's such a good analogy to look at it as well, right? Because like, if your effects are a car, you also need to make sure that all aspects of that car is working
Yeah,
properly.
yeah,
Um, and it's just this overwhelming. Like even if you're an experienced VFX artist, it comes every time, right? Where it's
yeah.
like,
You
oh, is
have
this gonna
to
work?
always be aware that for example, like if a piece is not rightly made for a car, for example, there are risks. Like for example, like not just to not fit in. There is like dangers that can happen. I don't
Yeah,
know. The car can just stop working in the middle of the road and can kill people. Well,
yeah.
it's not as dramatic, I'd
Not as
say.
dramatic, nah. But like
No,
optimize,
but
it could kill the game in the sense of like that effect will be placed 70 times in one level,
yeah,
and players,
there's
if you
that,
didn't test it,
and
the players will be
mhm.
pissed, and then they might ask for a refund or something.
Yeah, and there's a specific example I like to use to illustrate that point. It's mostly like the scaling part. Because different engine have different scaling in it.
Yeah.
Unreal, for example, have centimeters, and Frostbite, if I remember well, it's in meters, and the DCCs can be in centimeters, or I don't remember if it 3ds Max or Blender have the same unit value, but your unit values have to match the one from the game engine.
Mm.
Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself with like in Blender, for example, or Maya, you have a mesh that appears to be at the right scale, but once you import it, you see nothing, and then you think that there's a import problem, but actually, it's just like your stuff is too small because when you export, the unit value wasn't matching the one from the engine. So
Wow.
that's something you have to be aware of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's such a beginner thing, but if you were not taught properly and you're
Mhm.
jumping too early,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, what do you advise people to when it comes to things they don't know they don't know? How do you
Yeah.
prepare? What's a mindset to prepare someone for the unknown? Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that because I asked, what do you know about what you don't know? Because that's one of my shortcomings on the technical side, I'd say, because I knew I lacked some knowledge on the technical side. I knew I needed like to make up for it, like through math, but I didn't know what specifically.
Yeah.
But that's a problem because when you don't know what you don't know, well, more often than not, you just waste your time because you try some things and then it's actually pointless because it just doesn't apply to you.
Mm.
So again, to it's not really a solution, I'd say, but it's again about asking the right questions. And if you don't ask the right question, just ask question. At some point, it's a numbers game. You're gonna ask one question that's actually like the good one.
Mm.
You ask different people because different people have different point of views and different solutions to bring to the table. And then so what I like to do is like I have a box and then I have a set of
Tools.
answers
Yeah.
of pointers, and then I try one of them like a checklist. Okay, it's not for me. Try another solution. Well, it's not for me. Check that one. Ah, maybe I'm gonna keep that one,
Yeah.
and then I try another thing, and then oh yeah, okay, that's the thing I want.
Mm.
And yeah, that's usually how I proceed when I don't know something and I want to figure out what I don't know, so I can figure out what you know.
Here's another question. Like, how much did backward engineering play a role in your learning?
Mm, I'd say it. You know, when you, I guess, when you break down an effect that was already made by someone else, and then you try to figure out how
I
he
mean,
did
yeah,
things. You
it
know,
could go all the way from just watching a video and trying to break it down, all the way to, like, I don't know, looking at your friend's work and maybe ask them if they could send you the project. And if they agree, then you could just like look into how they broke things down. That could also be
before
backward
I,
engineering.
yeah, before that, I would have told you maybe half of the solution, but I would
Oh, okay.
say now it's more of a third. I'd say because the way an effect was made is very contingent to its context.
Mm.
What I mean by that is depending on the company, depending on what effect you're looking at, depending on the game you're working on,
Yeah.
the way it's made, it just probably not gonna fit what you're trying to do because they had like to deal with constraints and guidelines that just don't align with what you're working on right now.
Mm.
For example, you have like games that use VATs a lot. Then you're like, okay, cool, that's nice. But then you realize in your production you can't use that because for whatever reason, because it's a VR game, so you're very much constrained on the performance side,
Yeah.
whatever. So it's very contextual, I'd say. I'm not.
Absolutely.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to provide to specific answer per se because that's how I had to deal with me not being familiar at all with the working in video games and computer at all,
Mm. Mm.
at least in that field. There's no one answer to be said.
Yeah.
You have like to train your mind to be flexible on that front, like
Yeah.
that there's no one specific rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
rule for each situation, for
Yeah.
for a different set of context.
And it, like, you really need that mindset of being flexible and also approachable in a way, right? You don't want
Hmm.
to not burn bridges, but in a sense, you kind of, like, when you're on a new team, let's say, or on a new project on a new team, you kind of
Hmm.
need to build the bridges because they don't
Yeah.
exist. And because you will find yourself often than not asking the questions, like you mentioned, and
Hmm.
they will give you an answer. But if that is the answer that you need, is up to you, I guess, to experiment, right?
Hmm.
Sometimes the easiest answer is backward engineering. Other times, the easiest answer is question. But to sum it up, is you need to spread a wide net, almost like
Hmm.
fishing, right? You need to catch as much fish as possible. Those are your answers, and then you need to pick the best quality out of those. But to pick the best quality, you need to kind of run through each one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of sums it up a little bit because, like you said, each game is novel, each team is
Yeah.
novel,
pipelines are different, peoples are different, productions are different.
I think what I notice
Yeah,
in game development so far is that no one claims that they know it all. And
yeah, and if they do, they're full of shit.
yeah, exactly. In a way, I have not yet
That's true in
worked with
general.
someone that claims that they know it all. Um,
You probably don't want to work with them, like
mm,
because you have this aspect as well. Because we work with people, and then it's bound. You're bound to have conflicts at some point in your career, and it's
yeah.
part of the process. And that's also how you grow as a professional, as a person, and which happened to me,
Mm,
and which happened to a lot of people. And if it didn't happen to you yet, well, it just didn't happen to you yet. That don't dread it. You gotta welcome like the challenge that come with those, because there's a lot to gain with that. Even it can be scary, because a lot of people, especially in fields like those, I see a lot of people that are introverts. I call them nerds. It's just a friendly jab, because I'm a nerd as well,
mm,
but I'm also like on the other side of the fence, where I'm also a bit more outgoing, I'd say.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I get both point of view.
Yeah, that's mostly our job in a way, right? We kind of need to
Mhm.
lean on both parts, but never too much on one side. Like, you don't want to be the real time VFX artist who is just like literally. I mean, no disrespect to anybody, but you don't want to be the VFX artist that just draws frame by frame and then export those things and tell the tech team, okay, now you do it now.
uh,
I want it to look like
I'm
this. All right,
gonna
it's like cool.
I'm
Why
gonna
did
have
we
to
hire
tell
you?
that to Julian, our VFX artist,
Yeah,
junior VFX artist on the team. That's pretty much his job at the moment, to just draw texture and flip books. I'm like, hello, Julian.
it's like 10% of the actual effect.
Yeah, most of the work is, in my experience, is once the asset making process is done. When you build your library enough, like to be able to do pretty much everything you need for your game.
Mm,
Well, that's the fun part comes around, where you have Jira's coming around, and then you have a list of things to do, and then you have to do them for one, and then you have to integrate those.
yeah,
The
implement.
integration part is something I don't see very much talked about.
No, it's not
Um,
talked about. It's also not taught anywhere in a VFX in a real
and
time VFX
and
school. Actually,
yeah, which is a shame,
it's a
because
shame.
that's pretty much the meat of our job, the integration part.
Yep.
Well, granted, like there's also like a D&D part, where like there's some workflows or way of things are integrated or tied to like proprietary like technology, so you don't necessarily want to divulge them. But it's just not taught at all, or very little, in my opinion, and that's
Yeah.
I think that's a shame.
Yeah, I think if I sums it up, like the way I work is ideation, creation, variation, implementation, testing, and polishing. Those are the
Yeah,
phases
I
that I
think
go
I, I
through.
think I think I made like a graph or something
Yeah,
that very similar to what you're saying,
yeah,
like a few years ago.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
I put it on realtimevfx.com at some point. I
I
made
think
like a schematic like this.
it's almost like four people, figuring out how a wheel works, but no one actually like made the guide of how to make a wheel. Like I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
not one person figured out how the wheel works. Like I'm sure multicultural or multi-civilization have figured out how a wheel works. But
Yeah,
uh
I guess once someone figure out everything, I think it's gonna be a good time to move on from the VFX field. I guess. I mean, if you
absolutely.
figured it all out, I mean, you're removing the fun out of it. So I'm just gonna do something else,
But
I
hey,
guess.
listen, honestly, I think there are VFX artists that are working right now that know it all, but they are so busy from project to project that they wouldn't even have
Uh,
time to like not just teach, but to like write down how exactly they work, because it's just like this
yeah,
encyclopedia of knowledge. And I think it would be a shame if they go to retirement, and there's nothing done for other people to like get familiar with. Because here's the thing: VFX is a, a job that is made by demand. Like it,
yeah.
a tech
And
art
there's a lot
too.
of demand and very few people that actually
I mean,
that
those
they can fill the
like
positions.
those who put the pillars of VFX for games were
Hmm.
already having a job when they got asked to do it. That's how I see it. They did not go to school and studied real time VFX as a topic. No, they put the pillars as they're working. So it's a job that was
Oh, yeah.
formed by the necessity of the tech,
Mhm.
and I don't think they were just like people who had the knowledge and were like, you know what, I can do it. They kind of figure it out on the job. That's why there's
Yeah.
little to no documentation. Um, in my opinion, like at least there's a lot to be done in terms of like the two major factors of what makes an effect work. First, implementation. I don't see a lot of work in like showing how something is properly implemented or how to tackle
Mhm.
each and every effect in terms of implementation.
Yeah, anything that you see integrated like in some way or another,
Mm.
is just something that's never gonna be doable in a real production. So I'm like, eh.
Yeah, and
It's good for showing some stuff on the screen, but not really representative of what's going on in real time.
I think that is because each team, like again, each team is different. There might
Hmm.
be practices like it's let's say it's team dependent or
Yeah.
project and team dependent. So there's not really one answer, but I would really like love it if there was a guideline on like usually if it is an effect, it's a status effect is implemented
Hmm.
using this type of logic, and someone just explains that like the foundation of that logic, and then by the end of
Hmm.
that the teacher or the person can say but review with your tech lead um, if that is the proper way to do it. Because
Hmm.
code is complicated. Each team codes in a different way. You don't want to be like the one that is putting that's breaking the
Yeah.
logic of the game, creating more bugs at the same time. Not
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
that you
that's a
should
huge
like
that's a huge endeavor to do as well. Like like that's a lot to ask, like to maybe one person or two to make. So
mm,
this should be like a common endeavor or something. Or if one person has to do it, it's gonna take up all his or her time.
yep.
So usually I see what you're saying, and that's actually what I'm doing right now, but more contained
Mm.
within my own team. By writing
Oh
documentation,
yeah, yeah,
on things that I saw and that actually worked. I mentioned patterns. You have things that always appear in every video games.
yep.
Like
Status
for example,
effects,
insects, status effect, uh, flocks of birds or something,
bullet
god
trails,
rays, bullet
impact.
trays,
Yeah,
impact, this kind of things that can be standardized.
yeah,
Let's say.
yeah.
So
That's the word I
that's
think.
where
Yeah.
the confluence pages
Mm.
are very useful. But then again, it's very contingent to your project and to your team. So, and it's hard sometimes like to share this knowledge because you have realities as well, because people like after work, but they don't want to hear about work after that.
Yeah.
They have other things to do. For example, I love my motorcycles.
Oh
I
yeah.
like to ride. I like to like spend some time in family, dating, this kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Makes
So
sense.
it's a lot. You have to deal with the reality of it. Like
Yeah.
there's the things we actually want to do,
Mm.
and then there's the reality of it. I'm not saying that we're not gonna get there someday. It's just gonna take a while, I think.
It's gonna take a while. It's also gonna take a lot of organization and a lot of money.
Mm.
Like you need to also make money out of making such thing, right? And I think
Yeah,
there will be
because
eventually a lot of money in that education section of VFX.
well, I guess it's already like happening. I'd say. Well, the money part. I saw a lot of
Yeah.
courses now that are very tailored to VFX artists now,
Yeah.
and the price point is like, oh, yeah. On some courses, I'm like,
Mm. Yeah,
I
yeah, I
see what
get
you're
it.
doing.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah,
I
I get it.
Yeah,
I get
it's
it
too
as well.
early. I think there's too much demand for the supply, and
Hmm.
that's where you can put the prices up a little bit. But I'm looking forward for a future where there's no monopoly of like one
Hmm.
education platform that offers everything. I'm looking forward for a future where affordability is more into the essence of it, and not just like looking at it as a pure business, but also looking at it. I mean, what I'm trying to say is maybe a real like a platform where it feels like from real-time VFX artists to real-time VFX artists, or to
Yeah.
future real-time VFX artists, let's say, and not just almost like executive feeling of a platform that has some VFX courses.
Yeah, because the main goal is to make money,
Exactly.
and not exactly like
Value.
to actually make you the VFX that you want to be, the
Yeah.
VFX artist you want to be. Yeah,
Yeah, and I
I resonate with that because I was a teacher for a while, and then my whole family pretty much is in the education since over 50 years. So I understand like the sentiment, and then the fact that you have to deal with executives that has that don't have like the good of the pupils in mind
or
in
the
the first
passion for
place.
the job in a
Yeah,
sense, they see the
not
numbers
not
behind
necessarily.
the potential,
Yeah,
of the
not
course.
necessarily like
Yeah.
passion. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was in the education. My father and my aunt and me, we weren't particularly like passionate about it,
Mm.
but we understood that it was for the good of the kids, and that you don't necessarily have to like the job, but doing a good job should be like wanting people like to succeed,
Mm.
giving them the tools to succeed, to be their own person. Should be the primary goal. Should be, because
It
I know
should
it
be. Yeah.
should be, and then you have like what it is.
And also, like, I have a feeling that right now, a lot of real-time VFX artists that got taught from these executive-based courses,
They're clones.
they're clones. First of all, there's no creative freedom. They feel it though. They know it. And they're so hungry for like a platform that actually teaches them the proper way, almost like a job type of platform.
Yeah, like the realities of production, like the other aspect of the job that are not necessarily related to the technical part. We talk a lot of the technical part, but what I heard when I hear all the time from my peers and my seniors is that they want more people that are more focused on the art aspect of it rather than the technical aspect,
Yeah.
and not just the art as well, more like the human aspect of it, the
Yeah.
communication part, like
Yeah.
which is very important.
Someone like you would really like to work with just because of who they are. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell this all the time on the podcast, and I think people got bored of it, but listen, like, if you're the best VFX artist on this planet and you're an asshole, dude, you're not gonna land a job. Not in 5 years, not in 10 years. And I've seen some, not VFX artists, but I've seen some people online, without mentioning names, but like they would literally post the rejection letter that they've got daily and post it on Blue Sky, Twitter, whatever, and not just rage about it, but almost like make fun of the company in a way. And the thing is, for me, and this is a general advice maybe for people, if you got rejected, it's not personal. It's purely business based. Even if it was personal, professionally, business again, it's unacceptable. But
because if you react that way, like you just prove their point.
Exactly.
Yeah, you just prove that you're unemployable, like this. Because if you're gonna talk like this, just like that, like how are you gonna actually behave in a real production? It's like when you're rejected by a girl, and then you have the guy that says, "Oh, you're ugly anyway."
Yeah,
I mean,
sour grapes. Yeah.
I'm like, we all know that's very cringe.
Here's the thing, like I've seen those people like posting those rejection letters on Discord or on Twitter, and I'm like, I get those too, but
yeah,
you don't see me.
I got my fair
about
share of those.
You know what I mean? Like I'm sure the best artists in the industry have gotten rejection letters, but you don't take the email with the name of the company, with the name of the person, and
Mm-hmm.
post it. Because guess what? That person will see it. They'll be like, all right, cool, nice. You do me dirty, I'll do you dirty. The industry is very small.
Yeah.
The industry is
Yeah.
so small. It's in the thousands, like worldwide, not in the hundreds of
Mm-hmm.
thousands, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people will talk. And you, like, I swear to you, I know that person that posts about like their rejection letters. 3 years without a job.
Well,
They
you
have
know,
quite the following though,
yeah.
but no job. Sad.
Quite the following doesn't really mean shit.
Exactly.
To be honest.
I just, you get into this echo chamber of, no, I'm getting likes, I'm getting follows from this. So
Yeah.
people like that content. And it's like, yeah, maybe because you share the frustration, but to normalize sharing rejection letters and shitting on other companies
Mm-hmm.
professionally, unacceptable.
Yeah, there's a whole business of it as well. Like the negativity farming. I guess we can call it that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic we can talk about, because that's something that's very present, and I'm glad I took up like the hobby. Well, it's not a hobby anymore. It's part of my life now. It's part of me. It's doing motorcycle,
Yeah.
but just doing something else other than
Oh,
like
yeah.
staying behind your screen and just
Oh, yeah.
watch negativity and then
Yeah.
let it affect your life.
Yeah.
Not letting you get some sleep or eating properly. I mean, bullshit.
Man.
It's not worth it.
I've seen my fair share of people that do this day and night, right? While they're eating, while they're sleeping, they're still thinking about it.
Doom scrolling, I think they call that.
Then you have the doom scrolling through the Discord server, and they would still talk about how shitty it is and how there's no jobs and everything. And it's fine to talk about this, but to talk about it in a text form and traceable way is really damaging, not for you but also for people. Because here's the thing about text, here's the thing about reading something. We're taught since we're kids, when we were in school, when you read something, that is the absolute truth. When you're reading a book, you're reading, the act of reading, of informing yourself while reading, we're taught not to question it, although we should question it. So when we're reading Discord messages of someone that we think are cool and their art is cool, and they're saying there's no jobs, guys, no point in applying. Maybe they have a hidden motive to cap the competition, so they have more chances, right?
Yeah.
There's always
There's
stuff
that
like
whole
that.
mind game like this.
Play mind games, exactly.
And usually,
Yeah.
what you to interrupt this, you have to come in like, I like to be like the one that kicks the hornets nest or something like this, the
Yeah.
ants nest or something like this, and just coming around and just kicking and just asking, says who?
Says who? Exactly.
Uh,
I love that.
Who said that?
Yeah,
You?
yeah.
Who are you that say that?
Yeah, yeah. It's such a good way to just be skeptical about not just people, text form.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that I think about a lot when I browse Reddit, I like to play a game. I'm like, how much of this is farming? Karma farming. And sure enough, you browse maybe 10 posts and 5 of them are bots. They're just farming.
Yeah.
So next time they post or they comment, they seem legit. You know when humans in crowds, they're almost like a herd in a way. Like, I feel if you put people together in a stadium and start chanting a name, they will start chanting with you. Yeah,
Group effect.
I feel like we as crowds, we just want to be liked, right, as people. So it becomes an echo chamber in a way. Like, oh yeah, the sky is falling. The industry is breaking apart. There are no jobs, and at the same time, that same person goes to the job website and start applying for all the jobs.
Yeah.
And in that way, they have more chances than the other people who just give up now, right?
I met a few of those throughout my career. Some that actually abandoned their team at school just to be able to get a chance, like to get my job. Actually,
Wow.
that's a topic I can talk about more in private.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
got
want to
you.
mention name.
But like,
And then I very despise this kind of people, and I don't hide my sentiment about it.
I love that.
I'm a bit cheeky as well, which landed me in quite a few trouble, but I really don't give a shit. I think we need more people like me in that regard, because I think too much. Like we have to be nice, blah blah blah. Meaning, at some point when you ask some questions, well, because everybody is so sensitive about the topic,
Mm.
and no one end up talking
Yeah.
at all. No conversation. No, it's very black and white.
Yeah.
It's very bipolar. There's no nuances.
Yeah.
To
Although,
illustrate my what I'm trying to
yeah,
say is
tell me.
I think a week or two ago, I think they're gonna recognize me. I'm gonna be famous a bit for that. But I started like a conversation about AI
Yeah.
about 2 weeks ago because there was a tool I noticed, like like it's a 3D AI stuff where they scan like a picture of it and then they generate like a mesh out of it.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting, like to just like as a pre-visualization.
Yeah.
You're trying to work on a portal, but if you have no mesh of it, you're trying to find the right model, but you can't find it, or you find it, but you have to pay for it, or it's free and it doesn't look like the thing you want, you're trying to make.
Mm.
And I thought it was cool just for that,
Mm.
you know, nothing more.
Yeah.
And then I just, what do you guys think about it? And then
Boom.
especially the AI stuff, and
Yeah.
then you get called that like, oh, if you use AI, I'm gonna question your integrity as a VFX artist. I'm like, dude, chill. I just
Wow.
ask what you think about it, not judging people.
Yeah.
We just ask questions. That's
Pointing
all.
fingers
And that's
and stuff.
where,
Yeah. Here's
and
the
that's
thing.
why I just went to
Like I talked
motorcycle.
to a computer scientist on the topic of AI, and she was like, it's funny because AI was researched for like a huge portion of like computer science, and now
Yeah.
like even AI, legit AI researchers, right, that are trying to make the best for humanity in terms of cancer, in terms of like whatever, they're using AI right now. But just because they have AI on their LinkedIn, they would be attacked, right? They would
Yeah.
be torn apart. Here's my thing about AI. Listen, if you're a printing company that used to hire designers and artists, and you're using AI because of its lack of copyrighted material to make t-shirts more than ever, to make, I don't know, card games more than ever, to make whatever it is, you're not paying artists, you're making more margin, you're making more profit. That is completely BS and needs to
That's
be
a shitty things
regulated.
to do.
Yes, it
I
needs.
think we can all agree on that. It's the like I said, the word I want people to keep in mind is nuances.
Yeah.
Like the conversation we have right now.
Yeah.
Nuances. AI is a tool for me at the end of the day, and I can understand that. Like people can be like very emotional about it because it has a real impact on them. For example,
Absolutely.
some people are just selling art like to make money out of it.
Yeah.
That's a shitty things to do.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean you have like to completely put that aside and then ostracize like any people that has like just the mention of it.
Yeah.
That's stupid in my opinion.
Yeah.
You just turn people that were actually on your side against you.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
It in a way, yes, and I think like there is ethical way to use AI, and there should be an ethical. They should be regulations. That's what I'm advocating for. And one of the regulations I really would like to see in the future is context. Who is using which tool, right? Yeah. So if you're a printing company, right, and you're using AI without hiring artists, you're making more profits, then you have to pay more taxes that artists can take and feed off, right? If you're an artist and you're using AI, that should be by no means or form against the artist. Because more than anyone, if ethically, more than anyone, artists that are using generative AI should be the one in the front, not the executives, not the printing companies. Those should not be using anything, right? They should be maybe using what's ethical for them. If you're an executive, you want to use generative AI.
I mean, you're asking too much from companies that look for to make money,
Yeah, absolutely. But like that, I don't know, like car companies, right? They wanted to make companies. So making seat belt did not make any sense for them. But now it's like, imagine a car without a seat belt. That is unacceptable, right? So I feel like everything comes into like steps, or by time we will realize as human beings, okay, we're doing a lot of damage now, right? Especially with the environmental context of AI. Like if you look into the statistics of you, if each one of us who's using online AI, right, is using a local AI, how much that would have changed the environmental impact to like a different degree. And I talked to the computer scientist a little bit about this, and it was she mentioned about like the environmental impact of it and how it AI like in the form of ChatGPT and DeepSeek has existed for decades, right? But just the fact that people did not know how to install it on their PC, right? And all what happened with ChatGPT is that they made it in a form of a website, and then it exploded to the way
Well,
we
you
have
know
it.
more about it than me.
Sorry about that. I mean, it's a huge topic these days, right? And I
Yeah.
think we need to take not only the emotions away, but we also need to have a more nuanced conversation about it, like you said. Like, let's invite
Yeah.
the experts and not those LinkedIn accounts that are talking about AI.
Sorry, I got my dog. He's
Nah.
like, he's like, hey,
Hey, it's enough
who
now.
are you talking to?
Tom is like, it's enough now, buddy.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
yeah, like you said, and like I mentioned before as well, like it's the lack of nuances
The
that I don't
bipolar,
like.
yeah.
Yeah, it's always you're right or wrong. Uh, it's always black and white. Maybe you're both right. Maybe you're both wrong. Maybe you're right at that time. Maybe you're wrong at that time. You know,
Also,
like
I don't want to know like those people who are really attacking people whenever it comes to AI, how much they use AI in secret.
there's that, and there's also like a lot of people. But well, man, I mean, they're human. Like sometimes as well, like when you write or speak online, it's not really representative of what you really are, as a person. Most of the time because it's very dry, in my opinion. When you write, when you type something on a form, and it's easy, like to take it the wrong way, especially when you're very literal in your way of writing. So that's why it's good, like to have like formats like this, with podcasts and all, interviews, because you actually talk to people. You can, check their reaction, like the tone of the voice
Yeah,
as
facial
well. Like
expression.
it's very important.
Yeah, because it's easy to just sit behind a screen, look at avatars and not real names, and offend someone. I guess I would not do it. I would seriously not do it because I am so afraid of like not offending, but I'm so afraid of destroying someone's day. Because I know the impact of having a really negative conversation to my life, right?
Yeah.
So if I see someone that is being aggressive or in text or whatever, I don't block, but that's it. Conversation is done. I'm not gonna think about it. They showed their colors. If people show you who they are the first time, trust them, right? Just trust them. Don't because I used to be the person that would apologize to things that I should not even apologize to, but I just didn't
Yeah.
want the noise anymore. I'd be like, it's too noisy. I'm sorry, right? Yeah, I mean, I guess
I'm
people.
the opposite.
You're the opposite.
Why should I apologize just because you got your feelings hurt? I mean,
Yeah,
I get it. Sometimes it's a bit too much,
yeah,
and I made I make that mistake sometimes, but sometimes I'm just doing it intentionally, like to know where I can go, so that I know the limits, so that limits I do not cross after that.
yeah. I think professionally it makes a lot of sense, especially if you're on a project, not to yes men everything, because the game or the project suffers, right? If it is a chat, I feel like with on a Discord, it doesn't have that that nuance of like there's something gonna fail if I don't interact. I don't interact. Like professional, nothing bad is gonna happen. So I just decide to just keep it as it is. If they think they're right, like who am I to change their mind, right? It's like freedom of speech in a way for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some point, like some discussion going on as well internally. Like I just tune out sometimes. I'm like,
Exactly.
If you say so.
Exactly. If you say so, or maybe you're right. You know, maybe you're right. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to admit that I'm completely right. Like maybe you're right. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we are human as well. We can be petty too. Like, I can be very petty sometimes. But, you have to be honest about it. Like, I like
Yeah,
to wear my heart on my sleeve
yeah,
most of the
man.
time.
And
So,
it takes a lot of courage to do that, honestly, because you're
yeah.
risking the rejection of that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But you gotta embrace what you're afraid of.
Mm,
That's what courage is about.
courage, yeah,
You have to do things that you're afraid of, that you risk having your ego hurt. And
yeah,
God, my egos were hurt like so many times in personal life and professionally. Because, for example, I that's a topic I think a lot of people can resonate with, and that followed me around since the start, is my lack of proficiency in the
mm,
technical side,
yeah,
which is still to that day something I'm trying to overcome.
mm,
I'm not trying. I'm doing it. I'm taking concrete steps
mm,
uh, to overcome those shortcomings.
yeah,
Uh, and that's something like I think people should embrace more and not be ashamed that much, because relative productions, like, you don't actually need like to be the most proficient in any side of the job, but you have to be able to do the job in a specific time constraints and quality constraints as well. If As long as you're able to do the job, uh, in my opinion, you're good.
yeah. And sometimes do the job could also mean take on a risk of learning a new skill that you might have not known before. Meaning, like you
Yeah,
said,
and that's probably not related to the technical side of the job at all.
yeah, it could be that they say, hey, we're in the beginning of the interview, right? We're looking into. It's really important for us to hire someone that has experience in X, Y, Z, right? And you say,
Mm-hmm.
listen, I'll be honest with you, transparency. You're not taking any risks if you be honest with them, right? So you could tell them, honestly, I've never heard about this term before, but I can look
Mm-hmm.
it up and I can take direction. If you can frame it in that way, that
Yeah.
A, you're honest, B, you're telling them exactly what you're gonna do, you're not waiting for them to give you tasks, you're not a task
Mm-hmm.
monkey. They see ownership, they see honesty and communication. And
Yeah,
if they
that
don't
goes a
go with
long
you,
way.
fine enough. You're not putting too much
Mm.
pressure on yourself either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It goes a long way. Like, doing, like, not saying bullshit, not being a jerk, you know not being honest. It takes a lot of courage, like, to do, like, to be, I don't know what's the word, that to be straightforward, let's say, to admit your shortcomings, to admit that you don't know, but that to show that you're willing to do the work to get it done.
All right. Thank you so much. I will. We're
Anyway.
reaching the last 3 minutes. Is there something you would like to add, promote, or give advice for? I'm hearing the dog. The dog is hungry.
Yeah. Not just hungry, like, that's his poopy time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up for Tom.
Yeah. Well, no special like mention in that. Just nuance, I'd say, would be the word. Having a bit more nuances in the job, and how you talk to your team in general.
Perfect.
That's something that lacks on the internet, I think.
All right.
Nuances.
That is a great conversation to have. Steven, thank you so much. I'll just head to the viewers and say thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And we both say bye to you. We'll still talk,
Yeah.
Steven, a little bit. All right. Goodbye, everybody.